I had to purchase this palette. It speaks to me on so many levels. So if you are interested in seeing my take, because I know that this video has been done by everybody so far, but if you're interested to see what I came up with, then please stick around. We're gonna do it right now. So Sydney Grace has been on my radar for about a year, I'd say, and I have just been sort of following along and watching. From what I understand, it went through a rebrand a little while ago, and there are a lot of popular YouTubers who really like it, but I have to say, I'm not always like the hugest fan of single shadows, not for any like real reason, but you ever just have like this like struggle to try to like piece together a palette, and then you're like, well, I might just get one or two colors and then I'll just use them in conjunction with like all of like the neutrals and nudes and crease colors that you already have, but then you find that you don't reach for them. And I've been doing better. I have like created like some personal little palette situations with my Salt New York, where I have taken some of my favorite shadows out of palettes and left behind the ones that I never use, and that has sort of curated my everyday eyeshadow game. But I think when I'm looking at like a whole big screen of options, it's overwhelming to me. So Sydney Grace had Christmas in July, and I was excited because she had a couple palettes and she was doing some amazing giveaways, but I kind of missed out on all of those. What a blessing, because it wasn't long later when the Tiny Marvels palette was you know, out for us to purchase. And I decided right away when I saw the color story that I was absolutely choosing this. So when I'm doing this today, this is based almost more off of like the color story and my excitement for trying these shadows. Not because not that I don't like Mel, I think she's great. I just am not like somebody who's been watching her for a very long time. I don't have maybe like the relationship from my end, because we do kind of think we have relationships with YouTubers, right? That I do, for instance, with Wayne Goss. Like I have like this, like I've been watching Wayne for like 8 years. So I have kind of been introduced to Mel through Wayne. And so I have definitely enjoyed her, and her looks are gorgeous, but I haven't been following her, you know, for like the last 8 years. So I definitely am going to give you all my like honest thoughts on this, but I'm pretty sure I'm just going to like it off the bat. Like I don't have any reason to think that I won't. So one of the things I wanted to talk about with Sydney Grace, I actually reached out to the company and asked a couple questions. But like when you pull up her Instagram, it does say that they are cruelty-free, paraben-free, and made in the USA, which I think is amazing. And then let me pull it up here. So I messaged Sydney Grace, this was during the sale in July. I'm curious about the kind of mica you use and if it's ethically sourced. And then I did see that they have some biodegradable or like water soluble glitter. So I asked about that too, which I did not purchase any of those yet, but if you're interested in that. And then she said, yes, the mica we use is all sourced ethically, no child labor involved. And that is something that's really important to me. That isn't on everybody's radar. And I don't want to tell people like that you need to care about that, but I found that the mica industry is pretty horrible, and mica is in so much. When I dove into it a little bit deeper, besides our cosmetics, it appears to be in paint on cars, electronics, all sorts of things. And I mean, if you're gonna go out and buy a car, you're gonna ask the car manufacturer if they source their mica ethically. Maybe, maybe not, but I think that the more we ask that question and pay attention to some of those things, the more companies will hopefully do the right thing, because the child labor involved in the mica mining is pretty horrific. I think we would all agree that we want to keep the kids safe, and like that I don't want children mining the mica for my beautiful eyeshadow palette. Like I want the beautiful eyeshadow palette, but not at that cost. So enough about that. And then the other thing that I typically hesitate is if there is a lot of talc in a product. that is a really polarizing discussion. So whatever you feel about talc absolutely is going to be your prerogative. And I will use talc if I trust the company and where it's being sourced. Sydney Grace does not use talc. And look at how big the ingredients are on the back. I absolutely love that. 18-month shelf life. When I skimmed the ingredients, it actually looked like it was all pretty awesome. So this palette is currently out of stock. It does retail for $52, but there is a lot of discount codes out there. I know that Mel has her own discount code, and so do some other YouTubers who work with Sydney Grace often. And so I think I saved 15% when I ordered mine. And from what I understand, there is a pre-order. So when you check it out, you can just click the pre-order button. So you will have this when it becomes available. So these colors to me really scream kind of like a spring, summer lookbook, but I find that these like neutrals and some of these deeper tones and like this duo or multi-chrome over here, they're going to be awesome for the fall. So don't discount because you see some of these bright colors that this won't also work an entire year. So if you're not familiar with Mel, which I feel like most people are, especially if you're interested in this palette, she is stunning. She wears her hair really short and sometimes she'll put different wigs on, and she has a lot of tattoos and they're gorgeous. And one of the things that really draws me to Mel's tattoos is how they are these sort of bright spring jewel kind of tones, and it's a very like pleasing aesthetic to me. I only have one tattoo, but I love to see other people's tattoos. And she did go into detail how bugs and her tattoos and her tattoo artist all played a part in this artwork. So he, what is his name? I have it right here. Pat Bennett from Tennessee is the tattoo artist that did this artwork, and I love it. Even my little girls were just like, ooh. My husband was like, what is that? Like I said, I don't have a lot of tattoos, but I would say that like that aesthetic has always been pleasing to me, and I'm always kind of drawn towards that. So without further ado, I think I hit on a lot of the big things. Let's get into the look. So if you're familiar with my videos, I am in a little bit of a different space today, so my lights feel a little bit different as well, but bear with me because I have a baby coming, so I kind of needed to rearrange my space, so we're just going to experiment a little bit. I also wanted to touch that I am also wearing the Exa Beauty High Fidelity Foundation. I have the color Oakjoo, I believe is how you say it. It's J-O-O, ooh, so I would say ooh, in 360, and this is the medium light with neutral undertones. And you guys, I am really liking this foundation. I'm still just getting to test it out, so I don't know everything about it yet, but I do have a whole video on that if you were interested. And then I used some of my Salt New York products. I have the new Beauty Counter lip gloss on in the Amber Shimmer. Keep a lookout for a video coming on some of those new colors as well. And then also some Aether Beauty blush and highlight. That is the Rose Quartz palette, and I also have a video on that. I will link it up here somewhere. So everybody has done looks on this, right? Like I was like, what am I gonna do? Because everybody's always done something, but I am just gonna hold true to my heart, my heart of hearts, this Flutterby peach color. Definitely Death Moth, maybe some Spider, and then we are going to use Marvel and Meadowhawk on my lid. So let's just jump into it. We will grab, let's grab a fluffy Wayne brush. 16 is almost always the brush I start with. Wayne would probably tell me that it's too big for my creasy little eyelids, but just because we love Wayne doesn't mean we always have to listen to every single thing he says. So let's start with Flutterby. One thing I have seen mentioned is that there is a lot of kick up in the pan. That does not bother me, especially with a really soft formula, as long as it's easy to work with. And I'm also going to run a little bit of this underneath my eye as well. All right, now I'm gonna take a Wayne number 19, and I am gonna go into the color Death Moth, which is this right here. It is, I would almost say it's like a little bit of a grungier kind of neutral. Does that make any sense if I say grungy? And we're just going to really deepen that crease and create like a deep kind of depth to it. Stamp a little bit in that corner. I'm not sure if this is going to feel deep enough to me or if I'm going to want to go in with that spider color, which is almost like that murky kind of a, it's almost like a plummy kind of brown, I want to say. It's pretty brown, but a cooler brown. And I'm going to take a little bit of this under my eye as well, just using, this is my Wayne Goss number 5 brush. And I feel like this color actually comes off a little bit darker than you would expect. I know I didn't swatch these for you because I am happy for this video to be just a little bit shorter, and also I know that there are swatches like everywhere on the internet, so I just want to create that dimension around the eye. Okay, I think I want to go in with that spider color just a little bit in the corner and just darken up the outer V a little bit more. I'm going to take this little pointy brush. Oh yeah, it's exactly what I was looking for. And that, oh yeah, okay, that's exactly what. I'm just gonna kind of fill in that little V and then stretch that out underneath. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I wanted it to do. Okay, so now that I have all of that base laid, let's get into the fun stuff. We are gonna put Meadowhawk right here, kind of on the middle outer, and then we are gonna do Marvel, which is this one right here, sort of on the inner quarter, and just melt them together. And I'm sure they work great with a finger, but I'm just gonna see how they do it. This is my beauty counter, the all over crease brush. So let's just see. I don't want to take it over too far. And then let's go into Marvel and put that right in here. And I knew that those would blend together really well because they're similar, but we're like a little bit more taupey champagne in here and a little bit more peach on the outside. And I just want to do a little underneath, or a lot maybe. That's such a pretty, those are such pretty colors. And then I'm just gonna take and make sure I didn't lose too much of that crease color. Then, all right, let's grab this little Wayne 07 and let's take this color up here, Web. Let's do a little under the brow highlight, which I hardly ever do anymore, and a little inner corner perhaps. So I am going to use my Wayne eye Kohl to tight line, and then I think I am going to pop some lashes on with this look today, but I'm also going to take my Wayne Goss 08 and go into that spider color, that really dark spider color, and I am going to just line my top lid. Like those colors are just so kind of bright that I feel like I just want to create, yeah, just a little bit more depth across my lid. And upon further inspection, I do see that I have a little bit of fallout, but I did powder, so hopefully I'm able to just wipe that all away. The more I use Wayne's Obsidian eye Kohl, the more I want the other colors. I love my Thrive Causemetics ones, I really do. This has been going on so smooth, and when I tightline, I never get it on my contact. Like, I can just get it so nice and close, and it has really just been impressing me. And I've been using it now, I mean, for probably only a little over a week, but I've been using it consistently and I have been liking it, and I find it to stay on well throughout the day, even though I'm hot and all that other stuff is going on. I'm gonna pop on some lashes. I might just try to do some little guys. I have been using, let me find it. So I've been using the Kiss Lash Glue Liner, and I don't know how well this is gonna work with those little guys, but I'm gonna give it a shot because I have a wedding coming up and I want to know how it works. So we're gonna practice today. Okay, the individual lashes worked with the Kiss liner, but I ended up having to put them all the way across anyway, so I probably could have just used a strip lash. But if you are somebody who really just loves doing like a couple corner lashes, this could still work for you, so just keep that in mind. All right, here is the finished look. I'm gonna just sort of do a little bit of a close-up on these eyes. You guys will have to let me know what you think. So one thing I did notice is I'm wearing this like black chiffon shirt, and I got a little bit of fallout on my shirt, so I'm just a little extra mica-y. So keep that in mind when you are doing your eyes, just in case you have a little bit extra fallout and you have like a black or white shirt on. But I guess that is it for this video. So this was sort of my first impression. I found these shadows to work really easily. I didn't have any trouble, and those shimmery shadows went on gorgeously even with a brush. So if you're somebody who likes to just be mess free, then that might work really well for you. So I had a good time giving this palette a whirl. I intend to keep playing with it. I have a wedding coming up, and I ordered this like sort of like dusty lilac dress. So I am thinking that these mauve tones over here in this lilac would be stunning. So hopefully the dress fits me well. It's always a gamble, especially I'll be like 33 weeks pregnant when I go to the wedding. So we will have to see how that goes. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like, consider subscribing. I would love to have you stick around. I have some more fun videos coming up, and I just appreciate your view. And if you have anything nice to say, go ahead and say it down in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And that is it, I guess. I will see you in the next video. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.